Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we are grateful for today. We're grateful that we're here, Lord, to be able to serve our great state of South Carolina. Lord, as our board meets today and those that speak, I pray, Lord, that you'll give us wisdom, understanding, discernment, guidance. Give us direction. Lord, help us to make the best decisions for students and their education. Pray that you'll open up their minds to learning, Lord, especially today and every other day. Lord, help us to serve in humility and kindness and with a desire to consider the best needs of other people. Lord, we thank you for our parents, our teachers, administrations, this staff, and this board. May you all bless them all richly today. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you, Q. And now, Dexter Davis, Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you stand, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now, if he were still in the NFL, we did sing the Star Spangled Banner next. I just want you to know that. And now, Dr. Pope, our mission statement.
The South Carolina Public Charter School District authorizes, champions, and supports the creation and advancement of innovative K-12 public charter schools that provide access to academic opportunities for every student in South Carolina to reach their fullest potential.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, the roll call.
Mr. Butcher.
Here.
Mr. Butcher is present. Mr. Davis.
Here.
Mr. Davis is present. Mr. Gilchrist.
Present.
Mr. Gilchrist is present. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Miller is present. Mrs. Mosteller.
Here.
Mrs. Mosteller is present. Dr. Pope.
Here.
Dr. Pope is present. Dr. Strickland.
Here.
Dr. Strickland is present. Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Now we'll move on. I know we've got a strong agenda today to the consent agenda. I need approval for the agenda of this meeting, March 14th, 2024.
I move that we approve the minutes of the March 14th meeting.
Thank you. Any second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. So that was the approval of the agenda. Now, B, I ask for a motion for the approval of the minutes for the February 8th, 2024 meeting.
Madam Chair, we need to vote on the
Oh, excuse me. Thank
approval
you.
of the agenda
Thank
first.
you.
Yes.
All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Now I ask for a motion for approval of the minutes of the February 8th, 2024 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second, thank you. Are there any questions about that, the minutes? Any corrections or revisions? I believe I have one. I believe that the minutes reflected that I led the Pledge of Allegiance, but it really was not the case. It was Mr. Gilchrist who led the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, so that's what we wanted. I want to give credit where credit is due, so
Thank you,
we can make that
Madam Chair.
change. Yeah,
She just wanted to recognize that booming voice.
that's right. Yeah. That's exactly right. Now, I want to ask, do we have any public comments?
Madam Chair, we need to vote on the minutes.
Oh, excuse me. We would take a motion for a vote on the minutes of accepting the February 8th approval of the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Then we
Secretary.
just need to vote.
Yes, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All the ayes have it. Thank you. Now we will move into public comments, if there are any. Are there any public comments?
Madam Chair, there aren't any at this time.
Thank you. At this time, we will go into informational items, and we will hear, I think, from our Superintendent, Chris Neely, on both of those. Thank you. Okay.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Greenville Tech Charter High School opened its doors in 1999 in partnership and on the campus of Greenville Technical College. The mission of Greenville Tech Charter High School is to provide equitable opportunities for all students to acquire an education that prepares them to be productive citizens, lifelong learners, and part of a global workforce utilizing 21st century skills. We are proud to say that GTCHS has accomplished its mission time and time again, as evidenced by being the first charter school in the nation to be awarded the National Blue Ribbon of Excellence in 2010 and earning the Palmetto's Finest Award in 2008. Greenville Tech has had a graduation rate for the past 2 school years of 100%, and for the past 5 school years consistently over 95%. We value our partnership and the professional collaboration we share with GTCHS board members, leadership, staff, students, and families. Today, we have before you 3 celebrations. The logistics for this is our Greenville Tech friends will come up. We'll do each of the 3 celebrations. At the culmination of all 3, board will ask for each of you, or for all of you, to come down for a photo. Okay, Mary Nell, would you like to join us? All right, up first, Greenville Tech Charter High School's 25th anniversary. Congratulations to Greenville Technical Charter High School on your 25th anniversary of operating a charter school in South Carolina. The district celebrates you for putting kids first and fostering excellence in education for 25 years.
Thank you so much.
Chicha will grab a photo here.
There's been a long-standing debate about who was the first charter school in South Carolina, and I used to work at the Meyer Center in Greenville, and it just so happened they were both on the agenda on the same night at the Greenville School District Board meeting back when they were first approved. But when it comes to setting the standard for what we expect of our students, our staff, and the charter school community, this school gets it right. And it's been led for the last several years by Mary Nell. And so Mary Nell, congratulations to the entire school community. It's an honor for us to be partners. I was sharing with some of our friends earlier that our schools each have a choice, just like our students and our teachers and our staff. And so we're so happy that you all chose the South Carolina Public Charter School District as your partner in this work with parents. Madam Chairman?
Well, the first thing I wanted to say is, you are a very significant part when I did not meet you for a long time, but continuously heard about you and about your accomplishments. Well, so you are the expert in the upstate. The other thing I wanted to tell you is that we ordered a cap from your school, and I was prepared to wear it today and write on it and all that kind of stuff. And but anyway, so it'll be sent to you. But really, you have been a leader in people talk about what would Mary Nell do. It's kind of like that. You see what I mean? And so we just thank you, and you've just given so much energy to create something, sustain something, and take it to excellence. So you're a very special person. Thank you.
All right, our second honor today is for the Senate resolution honoring Greenville Tech Charter High School. On February 14th of this year, students and faculty from Greenville Tech Charter High traveled to the State House here in Columbia, where their Senator Ross Turner sponsored a resolution to commemorate the 25th anniversary. The resolution was unanimously adopted, which Brad tells me is rare. The students and faculty, along with our district staff, were recognized from the balcony of the Senate by Senate President Thomas Alexander. Unfortunately, Senator Turner cannot join us today, but he sends his regards along with this special honor. All right, and the third final celebration today is Gratitude for Service to honor Miss Mary Nell Anthony. Mrs. Mary Nell Anthony joined the SCPCSD in Greenville Tech Charter High 8 years ago in 2016. She has held the title of school leader for her time at GTCHS, as she has led the Warrior Way with pride, excellence, and community support. Mary Nell is respected by her colleagues, our district staff, and many across South Carolina and beyond. She is a reliable professional, and we often call on her for feedback and collaboration. The district sincerely applauds you for the outstanding leadership you have provided to Greenville Tech Charter High and your continued commitment to the children of South Carolina. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we thank you for your service.
And Mary Nell, you've been a great friend, a colleague, a partner. I first met Mary Nell again when I was at the Meyer Center, and we used to have these conspiratorial lunches in Greenville where we would talk all things charter schools and school choice, and that's when I first got to meet her. And then over time, I learned what a great person you are and the great character that you have and the great integrity. Those are the things I really admire the most about you. But I love your passion for kids and your passion for giving every child an opportunity to reach their full potential. And she wanted to make it very clear she is not retiring. So I guess the way I look at it, she's kind of just passing through. She's passing through right now. And, you know, I don't know where your next stop is, but, you know, you've always got a home with us. Because the South Carolina Public Charter School District values you as a person. We value your knowledge, and our chair lady is so correct. What would Mary Nell do? That's the question we will always ask.
And leadership is just such a great, it taxes you every day, and that you find the energy every day to be at the top of that silo, and the thousands of children that you have changed and given opportunity to. So there's a brighter spot up there in Greenville because of what you have done and connecting children with their future. So thank you so much.
Thank you. If the board would come down for one photo, we'll get all three of the awards in this photo as well.
Stretching in here, we got to stretch. Yeah. I'll whisper to you.
Thank you.
Your boots on. Me too. Me too.
At this, you ready?
I'm getting that close.
Ready? At this time, we will move into action items. The first action item being the third reading of the policy board manual for our district.
Good. Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we accept third reading of the board policy manual.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Randy, for all the work. Randy has led the policy committee, and as we grow and learn more things and become more wonderfully complex, it's all the more important that policy really matters. Now we will move into our first charter application for this period, Coastal Preparatory Academy Charter Application. And we welcome and are greatly appreciative of John R. Payne and all that he always knows about everything. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Superintendent Neely, and trustees, today we bring before you action item B, Coastal Preparatory Academy's charter application. In your packets, you should find a memorandum and attachments for this application. In its review, district staff found that Coastal Preparatory Academy's application failed to demonstrate an evidence of need, as well as evidence the plan for the school is economically viable as provided by the narrative, the appendices, and the budget. With respect to the evidence of need, the school failed to demonstrate that an adequate number of parents or legal guardians with students eligible to attend the proposed school support its formation, as required by the Charter Act. The applicant provided survey data, but over half of the responses provided did not support the creation. In addition, the survey data contained conflicting information as the survey was revised during its administration. Additionally, the application indicates a location of North Charleston, yet the zip code provided was 29403, which is the Wegner Terrace community on the Charleston Peninsula. With respect to the budget, the 5-year budget shows a net deficit in year 1 of negative $757,675, and that budget includes 5 salaried positions totaling $305,000. Despite referencing potential startup funds amounting to $42,500, the startup funds fall far below the 1-year deficit, or the year 1 deficit. As such, the applicant failed to demonstrate a viable budget for the proposed school. The applicant was notified on February 22nd and was informed of their right to be present today and provide any materials by March 1st. A letter from the applicant was received on March 1st, sent to Ms. Sellers, and is included in your packet. The applicant was informed they would have 5 minutes to address the board if they so chose. But for these reasons, along with the materials in your packets, district staff recommend that the Board of Trustees deny Coastal Preparatory Academy's application, and we respectfully request a motion to deny the application.
Thank you. Let's take a motion first to get into this issue. Would anyone care to make a motion pertinent to this?
Motion to accept staff recommendation.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Well, we're going to have discussion.
Well, we should just
Oh, excuse me.
discuss
Discussion,
first.
yeah, okay. Discussion. Any points?
So is anyone here from the school?
We checked the sign-in sheet, Mr. Trustee, and we did not see anyone from Coastal Preparatory Academy who had signed up for today.
Oh, okay.
Well, that says a lot. I have a question. Can you kind of quickly walk us through the letter? It looks like the letter, I don't see a date on it, where they came to ask that they have a virtual first year after the application with specificity has their intentionality of a real school, not virtual. What is were you surprised at this, or just comment to us on it, what your thoughts were?
So one of the observations in this was the recognition that, which is in the letter, which indicates that the applicant acknowledges their current limitations of financial knowledge and to convey their eagerness to collaborate. Obviously, starting and running a charter school is paramount, not only for educational purposes, but for financial viability. And so when we see a school that, has a significant negative budget the first year out, it gives us concerns on the financial solvency or insolvency of that school. And so, we certainly appreciate this, but I think it, adds to the observations that our team made in reviewing the application.
A confirmation.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other? Yes.
One more. How many students I was looking for how many students they anticipated having in the first year.
I think they were proposing, give me just one moment. They were proposing 160 in year 1
Okay. But they had not collected any of the grants that they had applied for, because I see a list of the grants that listed.
Yes, sir. And so there was no indication as to whether or not those were received funds or pledged funds, but even with that, the amounts of those totaled $42,500, which regrettably would not put much of a dent into the deficit balance of $757,000.
Very good. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Are we ready, prepared for the vote? So we'll entertain a vote on this issue. All in favor of the recommendation?
To accept staff
to accept,
recommendations.
Staff recommendation, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you.
Next, we bring before you action item C, Diamonds Institute Charter Application. In your packet, you should also find a memorandum and attachments for this application. In its review, district staff found that the Diamonds Institute application failed to pass the completeness check, specifically the State Department's Appendix G, supporting documents for the described educational program as required under the Charter Act. In addition, the application fails to demonstrate evidence of need and evidence that the plan for the school is economically sound. With respect to Appendix G, as noted in the memorandum, the applicants attended our November pre-application training and received ongoing emails and newsletters between November and the February 1st application due date. Upon receipt of the application and a courtesy to all applicants, Diamonds Institute was informed that Appendix G was missing, was incomplete, and was given the opportunity to remedy and complete its application by February 11th. The required document was not corrected and was deemed incomplete. With respect to evidence of need, the survey data provided by the applicant did not demonstrate evidence of need and contains conflicting and forms for grade levels not offered by the Diamonds Institute. Survey options like "I would like more information" or "I am an educator interested in assisting in planning and or working or volunteering" were included in the survey. No contact information was provided calling into question the validity of the survey. Of the 48 survey respondents, over 58% responded about working or volunteering with Diamonds. Parents of 38 students who would be grade eligible indicated, however, that number falls far below the 225 students planned for the school. With respect to having a sound budget, neither a 5 nor 10-year budget was included with the February 1st submission. The school was offered an opportunity after the district's completeness check to submit the budget as required by statute in the State Department of Education. The budget did not provide the evidence and contained a number of calculation errors, making the budget incomplete. Furthermore, the budget narrative contradicts the budget in the appendix and other information in the application. Neither the budget narrative nor the 5 and 10-year budgets included with Diamond's resubmission present evidence of financial viability. This applicant was notified on February 22nd, 2024, and was informed of their right to present and provide materials by March 1st. The applicant did not respond to provide any clarifying information or indicate their intent to present before you today. For these reasons, along with the materials in your packets, the district staff recommends that the District Board of Trustees deny Diamonds Institute's charter application, so we respectfully request a motion to deny the application.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. Do we hear a motion on the
I
table?
move that we accept the staff's recommendation.
Thank you, Dr. Pope. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
So asking again, so they did not send anyone to represent them today?
No, sir. And again, we checked the sign-in sheets just before, and no indication of anyone representing the Diamonds Institute application.
Any other comments? I wanted to make one comment. I find it very surprising that that some applicants would just simply leave out required information. I don't see how you walk away from a table like that and not, you have put so much thought into it, whether it's good thought or bad thought. But I'm very surprised at that kind of response, actually. Omission is not an option. Especially, and I'll just make a comment about this right now, if I may. I see in the pattern of the last two that we've just dealt with that you are citing appropriately right out of the charter law on the issue of evidence of need and that need defined by parents, the requirement for an academic plan that is consistent, that is laid out, that is viable, and evidence that you are on sound economic ground as you proceed into this. And so I think that, if I may say, I think if the word that comes to me is a pediment. A pediment is like a triangular-ish, a beautiful thing above a door. The front door to the charter school entrance in our state has a pediment over it, and it is these 3 requirements in the law. And if you can't meet those, you really can't come in for the sake of the children. Are these decisions made and are going to be made by this board? So we don't want impediment, we want the pediment. And I hope that our applicants going forward, I'm sure most of them see how sacred they are. What stands behind this is law and altruistic hopes, highest hopes for our state. So I thank you for your thoroughness on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, are we ready to take vote? Yes. Would anybody like to?
We have a motion.
Didn't we have a motion?
We have a motion and a
Yes,
second.
yes. Okay. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. Payne.
Yes, ma'am. Today, we bring before you action item D, Myrtle Beach STEM Academy's charter application. In your packets, you should find a memorandum and attachments for this application. In its review, district staff found that Myrtle Beach STEM's application failed to demonstrate evidence of need and evidence that the plan for the school is economically sound. With respect to evidence of need, the applicant cited data from a 2019 Sun's News article regarding Horry County School District's application for their STEM program. It also included data from another institution from 2015 and 2022 that, although it indicates interest in the types of program the applicant was proposing, does not reflect parent interest or support for the school. As such, the application fails to demonstrate evidence of need as required by the Charter Act. Furthermore, the student enrollment form projected between 100 and 350 students in year 1, between 210 and 525 students in the second year, and 800 students in the third year. Neither the narrative nor the applicable appendices explain the basis for the enrollment numbers provided or provide data to support those numbers. With respect to having a sound budget, the narrative did not address several required components of the charter application as required by the State Department of Education, particularly around capacity, how the budget supports the mission or vision of the school, a contingency plan for cash flow challenges, or a detailed plan for the planning year, including cash contingency plans. The one-page budget lists year zero expenses, totaling $230,000, which includes an administrator salary of $145,000, $20,000 for professional consultation, and $50,000 for a legal retainer. Although the applicant cited seed funds and donation, the narrative provides no information relative to these expenses or sources. Year 1 expenses exceed $4.3 million, but there was no detailed description of the budget assumptions, calculations, or revenue estimates. As such, the budget, narrative, and appendices do not demonstrate evidence that the plan for the school is economically sound. This applicant was notified on February 22nd, 2024, and was informed of their right to present and provide materials by March 1st. The applicant did not respond to provide any clarifying information or indicate their interest to present before you today. For these reasons, along with the materials in your packet, district staff recommends that the District Board of Trustees deny Myrtle Beach STEM Academy's application. So we respectfully request a motion to deny the application.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. Do we hear a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to concur with staff recommendation to deny no charter.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Oh, I think, did you just,
Second.
did you just say, did you tell us that no one is here from that?
That is correct. No one signed up on the sign-in
one
sheet,
signed up.
which we checked
Okay.
as the
Okay.
meeting started.
That being said, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
We will now take up the school Meeting Street Academy in Spartanburg.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Neely. As a reminder, and for new board members, the protocol for each application will be as follows. First, a presentation of the application summary and staff recommendation. Then I will request a board motion. Next, the board will hear the committee chair's presentation, or the charter committee's presentation. And as a reminder, it will be a limit of 10 minutes to respect everyone's time. And this will be, thank you, followed by questions trustees have for the applicant group. And finally, I will request the board vote to approve or deny the application. Trustees, you were provided access to the charter applications in their entirety, and the final recommendation reports and attachments are included in your board folder. Please turn to the Meeting Street Academy Spartanburg report as I provide an overview of notable elements of the application. PCSD staff recommends that the District Board of Trustees approve the charter school application received from Meeting Street Academy Spartanburg. This recommendation is based on comprehensive and rigorous analysis of the educational, operational, and business plans of the proposed charter school, as well as from a review of the information provided. Unless otherwise specified, the application meets all applicable state and federal statutes, regulations, policies, and procedures governing South Carolina public charter schools. Meeting Street Academy Spartanburg submitted a charter application proposing to serve students in grades pre-K3 through 5th grade. It is currently operating as a successful school of innovation in Spartanburg School District 7. If approved, Meeting Street Academy intends to operate as a public charter school beginning in the 24-25 school year, with a steadfast commitment to closing achievement gaps for families and students who have traditionally not had access to high-quality public schools options in Spartanburg. The school plans to serve 330 students, 260 of those in grades K through 5. The school's mission is empowering young people from under-resourced neighborhoods to become confident, productive, and principled members of society through excellence in academics. It commits to providing families with a life-changing opportunity for their children to learn what it takes to succeed in both inside and outside of the classroom. Key findings related to the educational plan include staffing 2 teachers in every early elementary classroom to provide more targeted and individualized academic support. The school's commitment to closing achievement gaps is built on core components, including early childhood education, academic rigor, data-driven instruction, and character development. Data demonstrate that its academic model is already closing student achievement gaps. With a poverty index of approximately 92%, comparative data shows that the school outperforms its peer elementary schools and continues to outpace its local district. 12 SMART goals measuring academic achievement, enrollment, staff retention, demographics, and other mission-critical areas are provided in the application. As to the applicant's organizational plan, notable findings include a robust governing board that includes an educator and individuals with a broad array of expertise. Meeting Street Schools, a nonprofit South Carolina education and management organization, will partner with Meeting Street Academy to oversee the school's operations. Key elements of the business plan include a financially sound budget that supports the school's vision and mission, including staff and student-to-teacher ratios, instructional costs, contract services, community-based support, and data-driven resource allocation. Additionally, the school is investigating transportation options, including purchasing 2 buses, which are detailed in the school's budget. Based on a thorough analysis, the PCSD team has determined that Meeting Street Academy Spartanburg demonstrates the capacity to sufficiently implement a high-quality charter school with a likelihood of success, and therefore recommends approval of the charter application subject to statutory requirements to negotiate an acceptable contract, pre-opening conditions, and any applicable addenda. We respectfully request a motion to approve the application from Meeting Street Academy Spartanburg. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion. I make the motion that we approve the application for Meeting Street Academy, Spartanburg.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
I have
Yes.
a question. Has there been any compromise between the class sizes of 17 to 22? And if so, if they had exceeded 22, what have you done to offset that?
I'm going to actually ask the school representatives to join me at the podium here so that they can share their presentation, and then you'll have the opportunity to ask questions, if that's okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Meeting Street Academy,
I
please
have
join me.
one question for
Yes,
staff, if that's
yes.
okay.
Yes,
So to be
I'm
clear,
sorry.
no, that's okay, that's okay. So this is a conversion charter school, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Could you comment on that? Could you expound on that a little bit? I
I
realize
just wanted
this,
to make
but
it
I
clear
don't-
for the board what was
Well,
happening.
yes,
So
because
the
I
school is
didn't-
converting
Yes.
from.
It's currently a public
Spartan-
school
Okay.
in Spartanburg
you.
7.
Thank you.
Yes.
And
It's an existing school.
they are applying to open a charter school and forego the planning year so that they can continuously, continue to operate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and I hope, I'll look forward to hearing the verbiage about the thinking of that. And one of the things is, of course, that it gives unlimited bounds to the reach. Your arms can go longer. Isn't that correct? So, and the other thing I'll say is, now, I just want you to know as a Charlestonian, that I hope you're going to teach the children that the name of the school, Meeting Street, okay? That's how, you have to learn how to say it like that. Meeting Street. Yeah.
Thank each one of you for giving us this opportunity. I'm George Johnson. I have with me my wife and several trustees of the board, and Josh Bell, if you'd raise your hand, Josh. Josh is the new head of Meeting Street Schools, period, in Charleston. We have operated under their umbrella since 2012 with great success, and we are like Greenville. They were before us, Greenville Tech. We are a blue ribbon school in 2021. So we have focused on poverty children only. We, from the hardest district and the hardest zone in Spartanburg, we've had a good relationship with District 7 for 5 years. We were a private school, but some said we were choosing our students, picking our students. We think our concept works for everyone. So we became a school of innovation. What we have found is we've had a great relationship with District 7 personally, but the problem becomes they have rules and regulations that they enforce on us that don't allow us to succeed with what we're most interested in, the student. And our total focus is the student and the outcome, which our principal does such a fabulous job of achieving. I think that we want you to know that we have these folks, and we'll let them introduce themselves, but our family is committed to this, my wife, and we found out about the school through a visit to Ben Navarro and his wife Kelly in 2012. And they have been our role model. We think that without them, we would not be here today. But with them, we plan to go forward and be the best charter school, and we don't intend to ever disappoint you. I want to introduce you to Kendra Hilton, our principal.
Thank you all so much. Good morning. My name is Kendra Hilton. I'm the extremely proud principal of Meeting Street Academy, Spartanburg. I know you asked a question about our class sizes. Could you repeat that question? I want to make sure I address it.
Yes, the question was, if I see the range and the educational structure is between 17 and 22 scholars or students, if the numbers were to exceed 22, how would you handle that?
The numbers in the classroom. So we do
Yes.
have a max on our cap on our school size of 330. And so This upcoming school year, we do have a class, a grade level that will exceed. Right now, we're operating on class sizes up to 25. And so we are well equipped, especially with our two-teacher model, to meet the needs if we do need to exceed 22, but having that cap will allow us to better meet the needs of students in small group instruction and also one-on-one instruction in the classroom.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Just to speak a little bit more about some of the things that we believe make our school a success. Number one, our partners, parents. Parents are our number one partners. We believe that our parents are the first educators of our students, and we do a tremendous amount of work to make sure that they feel valued and they are an integral part of their scholars' education. We call families every Friday. We call it Fantastic Phone Call Fridays, just to celebrate wonderful things happening with their scholars in the classroom. We host as many school events as we possibly can in the neighborhood to also increase that parent participation. And then our community partners. We have a laundry list that you'll see in the application of community partners that allow us to not only service our students, but also our families and to help to develop our staff. Some of these partnerships have allowed us to do things like operate our Boys and Girls Club program for our first grade through fifth grade students after school, which not only allows for enrichment in academics and extracurricular activities, but also provides essential meals like dinner and additional snack for students in the evening before they go home from school. Another component of our success is our teacher development. So you will see in the application that our teachers receive constant feedback. I jokingly say that I do not have an office. I have a cloffice. It's literally a closet just with a table because my time is spent in the classrooms with teachers and students, coaching teachers and helping our students to succeed. We do about 50% more 30% more professional development than teachers in our partnering schools. And we even have an additional hour after school every day for teachers to look at data, to lesson plan, and to be prepared to meet the needs of students the very next day. So thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
Another question. Social emotional learning.
Yes.
How do you address that and handle that in your school?
Yes, at Meeting Street, we truly believe that we're teaching the entire child, not just the academics. And so we teach what we call Path to Success traits. And so each grade level has a trait, such as academic achievement, self-control, grit, and we wear them not only on the backs of our t-shirts in every grade level, but we also talk about them through book studies. We connect those traits to our families by having opportunities for our families to post on social media how they use these traits in their lives to live successful and fulfilling lives as well. So we do teach our students those traits each and every day.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Follow up to that, do you have a guidance counselor on staff?
We do. We have a laundry list of services that we provide for our students. We have a school counselor. We have a school therapist. We provide occupational therapy, speech. Our belief is we try to take any hurdle that might exist in front of our student and take that hurdle out of the way so that they can be fully engaged in learning each and every day. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm trying to look at the budget. I don't have it here in front of me, but just looking at the budget, am I correct that you had budgeted like $500,000 for food service?
I'll let Mr. Marcus Spackman talk a little bit about our budget.
Good morning. Marcus Spackman, Chief Financial Officer. I believe it was around $300,000 to $400,000, and that's about the value that we receive right now from the district services.
320?
300 to 40,000.
So who will be participating or partaking of those meals? Does it be like an afternoon, a lunch type program?
Yes, that is correct. We are looking into community partners to partner with to provide those food services.
Thank you.
A delivery service and.
Yeah, catering, yes.
Yes. I just have a general question. Yes. Could you just, when I realized that District 7, which I know you will now be able to go beyond, yes, but the annual income was around $12,000 a year. It's almost unfathomable. Mm-hmm. So tell me, how are parents responding to this when they're seeing this hope for their child? What is the engagement factor of parents that are also facing these kind of economic issues?
Mm-hmm. So earlier this week, I actually went to our neighborhood. They have a Community Voices meeting that I try to attend every month. And we heard from some of our parents. And it is a ray of hope. We not only provide services for our students, but like I said, we also provide services for our families. So we have a program called Family Academy that is right now for our pre-K students, but it not only helps them to develop the habits that are necessary to support their students through their entire academic career, but we have things like financial literacy courses, healthy eatings, and parents and families are able to earn incentives like healthy meals that they can pick up from the school, or even things like family passes to our local children's museum. But our parents are very vocal. Right now, we have done an intent to return survey for our families to see how many of them intend to return, and that number is extremely high. So we definitely have the community support, but you're absolutely right. Our families are facing a lot, but it takes all of the partnerships, and it takes having our families share what are the challenges that you all are facing outside of our four walls. But those partnerships have been tremendous in helping not just the child to succeed, but the entire family overall.
Yeah. It's a future and a hope.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
To quote something famous. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
just have a quick question. What is the current demographic makeup of your school now?
Very good question. Let me pull my numbers out, make sure I don't get anything wrong here. So we are serving primarily minority students. Let me see if I can find my numbers here. Give me just 1 second. Here we are. So we have 84% African American, 7% two or more races, 7% white, and 4% Hispanic or Latino. We have about 16.9% of students with disabilities. As we heard, about 92% living in poverty. Multilingual is 1.9, and then gifted and talented is 3.6.
Okay, great. I heard you mentioned earlier about services.
Yes.
Would I classify that as also wraparound services
Absolutely.
for kids in that type of demographic? Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. 100%.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Butcher?
In the opening remarks, the comment was that there were regulations that the district imposed that you wanted to be free from in coming to this district. What are those regulations?
Similar to what the chairman said, we want to be able to expand this approach, not just within our neighborhood, but to allow families from outside of our current zone to attend Meeting Street if they would like to. And so that's been a big challenge for us. We get phone calls every single day from students that live in a similar demographic, but are zoned for a different school that say, can we attend Meeting Street? And right now, we have to tell those families no. And so we do want to expand our reach for sure. So that's one of our biggest hurdles. In addition to some of the things like class sizes. So as I mentioned earlier, having 25 students in a classroom with one teacher has been difficult. And so we're hoping to have a little bit more control over that to be able to meet the needs of each and every student.
So the district was not allowing you to hire more teachers for the classroom?
Well, we can hire more teachers for the classroom, but with our current model, as you see in here, we have 2 teachers for pre-K through 2nd grade and then 1 teacher in 3rd grade through 5th grade. We have added additional classes to meet the needs of our students. So currently right now we have 2 full kindergarten classes and then a 3rd classroom with just 1 teacher because it's not enough students for 2 teachers, but that has been a bit of a challenge for upper grades.
Thank you. Any other questions? I have one more question. Well, first of all, we want to be sure that you don't take applications from North Carolina, okay? Because once people see what you're like, you
Yes.
don't know where the end of this might be.
That's true.
Is there any initiative pertinent to fathers, the whole issue of fatherhood, which is so important? How is that approached in your workings?
Absolutely. It is definitely an area where we intend to grow. We have conversations as an administration, and even in some of our family communications about celebrating our fathers. Our fathers are a key part. We really pride ourselves in the amount of fathers that come to the school, that participate in our school events, but that is a key element of our success. We also partner with other programs in the area that celebrate fathers and provide supports to them as well. That is an area we want to elevate and get better at, but it is currently a spotlight for sure.
Good. Thank you. Any other questions?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to make a quick comment.
Yes, sir.
Just as students and parents have the opportunity to make a choice on schools, you all have the opportunity to make a choice on districts. And I want to speak, on my behalf, and I think I would say on the behalf of the district, that we're very pleased that you have chosen the South Carolina Public Charter School District. And thank you for your presentation this morning.
Thank you. We are very excited about this opportunity as well.
Great point, great point. Okay, are we prepared to vote? Yes. Okay. All in favor of accepting this recommendation by staff? Please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Of course not. Okay, thank you.
That's exactly what it should look like right there. That's exactly what it should look like. That's the model.
Good result.
Next, we will hear from Kristen again, our Chief of Authorization and Development, on Palmetto Excel Sumter application.
Thank you. Individual replication applications were received for Palmetto Excel Spartanburg and Palmetto Excel Sumter. I will present a combined summary, but ask that the board vote separately on each application. Please turn to the Palmetto Excel recommendation reports as I provide an overview of significant components of the applications. PCSD staff recommends that the District Board of Trustees conditionally approve the charter school applications received from Palmetto Excel Spartanburg and Palmetto Excel Sumter, contingent upon funding from the General Assembly. Unless otherwise specified, the applications meet all applicable state and federal statutes, regulations, policies, and procedures governing South Carolina public charter schools. Applications proposing to replicate Palmetto Excel North Charleston an adult workforce center of excellence co-located on the Trident Tech College campus, will receive from Palmetto Excel Spartanburg and Palmetto Excel Sumter. Like the North Charleston campus, the proposed replication campuses plan to serve 150 adult students over 21 in grades 9 through 12 in year 1, with 300 students at full build-out at each location. Palmetto Excel's mission is to provide adults the opportunity and support to earn high school diplomas and post-secondary education while developing their career paths that offer significant employment and growth opportunities. Notable findings related to the educational plan include both proposed Palmetto Excel locations, if approved, will be the first adult workforce centers of excellence located in the Midlands and Upstate, and the only free choice high school options in Spartanburg and Sumter counties for adults who do not hold South Carolina high school diplomas. A commitment to a one student at a time method to meet students where they are, a coaching system designed to address the barriers that impede equity of service and obtaining college credit and industry certification. As to the applicant's organizational plan, key findings include an 18-member founding committee comprised of the Palmetto Excel North Charleston Board, as well as individuals representing Palmetto Excel sites across the country. Palmetto Excel plans to involve individuals from both regions to serve on the board as relationships and agreements are finalized in Sumter and Spartanburg. The initial site, Palmetto Excel North Charleston, had over 1,000 interest intakes for adults interested in the program. Recognizing the need in Sumter and Spartanburg counties, it is unlikely the schools will encounter any enrollment issues. Key elements of the business plan include the budgets for these adult workforce centers of excellence, with legislative approval, meet all requirements and are financially sound. Both Palmetto Excel locations will provide bus passes and stipends to any enrolled student with a financial burden who lacks transportation. Palmetto Excel is exploring all potential sites for suitable locations that will enable these adult workforce centers of excellence to reach their mission and vision. If approved, the PCSD will work closely with Palmetto Excel Sumter and Spartanburg to ensure the facilities are obtained as a pre-opening condition. Based on a thorough analysis, the PCSD team has determined that Palmetto Excel Spartanburg and Sumter demonstrate the capacity to sufficiently implement high-quality charter schools with a likelihood of success, and therefore recommend conditional approval of the applications contingent upon funding. We respectfully request a motion to approve the Palmetto Excel Spartanburg application, and also a motion to approve the Palmetto Excel Sumter application. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to accept staff recommendation to conditionally approve the charter for Palmetto Excel Spartanburg.
For just, or both?
Separately.
Just separately.
I believe is what staff
Yes,
requested.
please.
Yes, separately. Okay. Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you determine the budgets? How do they determine the budget for the location?
There's been money requested from the proviso,
Thank you.
from the General Assembly.
Thank you.
Because this is, as a new member, this is very unusual because it's moving past the age of 21.
Gotcha.
So that's what's going on.
That's correct, so it doesn't qualify for charter school funding.
Understood.
If I may follow up on that, though, we've been through this before, and it was granted for Myrtle Beach, is that correct?
Correct.
Can you tell us how, or maybe you might know the flavor of how the General Assembly sees this in terms of providing that funding?
Superintendent Neely, do you want to?
Well, last year, the General Assembly provided $1.3 million in funding for the first Palmetto Excel Center at Trident Tech down in North Charleston. And that's enabled them to maximize enrollment. They also have a growing list of adults who would like to attend the school as well, which shows demand in the Charleston market. So the concept here is to do the same thing in Sumter and Spartanburg, and then to increase the enrollment in Charleston. And as our chairlady said, because these students are older than 21, we have to go to the General Assembly every year to ask for request money to fund the school through Proviso. So this year, we've requested $5.9 million for Palmetto Excel to grow and expand in Charleston, open the new school in Sumter, and open the new school in Spartanburg. Additionally, we've requested $5 million to provide infrastructure development grants to support these 3 schools and all future schools. These schools do not receive any federal funds because the students are older than 21. So as a result of that, they also don't qualify for the federal charter school grant program, the P&I grant program that the Department of Ed runs. So they come into the game already shorthanded. So we're requesting additional money to provide them with grants so that they can buy equipment and technology, computers, staff, and actually operate, and so that the foot of the bill doesn't fall on Goodwill Industries. It falls on the people of the state once we've made a commitment to the school. So that's what the funding is for. That's why we have to make the request. And our hearing in the Senate is next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And I've met with everyone on the subcommittee this week, and so far all the conversations are very positive.
Mr. Superintendent, I just want to thank you for the years of relationship that you have built with the General Assembly in various different stages of your life. And you are a goodwill ambassador for this vision, and we are very grateful to have you leading us on that. I had one other question. Is there an effort, because I would think it is positive, very positive, for people to see the connection between these schools and Goodwill? You see what I mean? I don't see it in the marketing too much, but a lot of people have a very strong positive view of Goodwill, whether you're contributing or purchasing. So is that something that the schools are capitalizing on?
Actually, I'll let the school answer that question.
Okay.
And they'll have
When they
more
speak-
knowledgeable
when they
answer about
speak.
that. Yes,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
Okay. Now,
Madam Chair.
Okay,
I
yes.
just have a question for the superintendent. So would the school be contingent upon the allocation from the General Assembly?
Right, like all charter schools, new charter schools, it would be contingent on the state providing the funds.
Okay, but this, just to be clear, this is a separate, from my understanding, based on the conversation, it's a separate allocation, is that right?
That's exactly right. So all of our traditional charter schools are funded under the student aid to classroom. Just like all public school students in South Carolina, the money follows the child. But when it comes to a new model like this, students that are older and then 21 and the median age is 38, the state does not provide state funds for this type of charter school.
Absolutely.
But we're not going to let that stand in its way. Innovation is going to lead the way.
Sure.
And as the General Assembly demonstrated last year, they were willing to make the investment. The school is already seeing success. They'll have their first graduates this spring. And as you all know from the testimony that I shared with Katrina Simmons and her great story, and there's 175 more of those, it's very powerful. These are real stories that are impacting the members of the General Assembly, and it's just the beginning of what's going to be an entire statewide effort to provide every adult that never was able to finish the diploma to have a second chance.
No, I appreciate that, Mr. Superintendent. Anything we need to do as board members to help support that is kind of
New.
Yeah, and so I'm glad to hear that, and for the public's purposes.
Yeah, thank you.
We're so glad you're here, Stephen. For many reasons. Okay, now, so we will, so we're going to hear from the school now.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to
Yes.
invite Palmetto Excel and
Yes.
Palmetto Goodwill representatives to join me here at the podium.
We recognize some of you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for letting us be here today. I am Lee Days, the board chair at Palmetto Excel. And with me today is also Michael Sabo, the founding board chair for Palmetto Excel, and some of our other board members here as well. Thank you again for the opportunity to present for the second time. We're so excited to be here today. We started this effort over 7 years ago today in visiting other Excel centers. And as you heard, we have this successful school already open now in North Charleston. And we've seen from many states the success of opening one school that then turns into many schools that can make an impact not just in our community, but across the state of South Carolina. We're asking for your support today to grow our efforts into Sumter and Spartanburg, and there are many reasons for that. One is that we have the board leadership and the team to get it done. A lot of us have been working on this project with lots of volunteer hours for over 7 years and have stayed committed to the project. And we've seen really incredible things already happen in our school in North Charleston. We'll report more on that here in a minute. We also see the incredible need and demand in Sumter and Spartanburg, where tens of thousands of adults do not have diplomas and will benefit from this model. And we also have strong ties in Sumter and Spartanburg area through Goodwill's work in the community. There's also a national model that is very scalable and that we can use this existing model and have a really strong connection with our national group to help support these efforts. And they're very dedicated to us, and we work really closely with them. And so now to tell you a little bit more about the details of our North Charleston School is our founding director, Dr. Ruth Turner.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. I'd first like to thank you all for making it possible for over 150 adults in our community to have access to education and workforce training. Sorry, y'all, I'm a little nervous. This is new for me. As the director at Palmetto Excel, I see our students every day, and every single one has an incredible story about why they left school and why they choose to return to us at Palmetto Excel to earn their high school diploma. They each overcome numerous barriers to come to our school daily. I know that you all went out on a limb to approve us 2 years ago, and I want to let you know that your decision is transforming lives in the Charleston area, and we appreciate you. So, our slide has disappeared, but that's okay. I got you. It's early, but let me just point you to a few major indicators of success. Number one, we consistently have a high demand for our school. Applications from Palmetto Excel continue to come through, and they are now at a total of over 2,000 for the year. Although our enrollment goal is 150, we've averaged over 165 students throughout the year, and we plan to expand to 300 next year. The people of Charleston want and need Palmetto Excel, and they're doing what they can do to attend. Number two, we've built over 9 industry certification pathways. We are a workforce center of excellence. And our certification pathways are in collaboration with Trident Technical College and other partners. All of our certifications reflect the highest demand positions in our area. And our goal is that 100% of our students graduate with dual credit or workforce certification. We've already, this is number 3 now, we've already had 3 graduates this year, and we're on track to graduate an additional 15 students in our first year. Each of them is on a certification pathway and will graduate with a diploma and with a workforce credential. And now, I'd like to pass it on to my colleague, Elliot Smalley, our senior director, to discuss why we want to bring this to Sumter.
Hi, good to see you all today. Just want to spend a minute kind of on Sumter and some highlights, and would also just say, I've never seen a school like this. Y'all took a risk to innovate, and it is really paying off. It's really incredible to see it every day. So why Sumter? I'll give you a few key reasons why Sumter. One, Palmetto Goodwill is in Sumter, is in the community, has been there for 15 years, has a career opportunity center, has a team. Most of the letters of support that you see in the application come from work that Goodwill's already done with key partners in workforce, education, training. And so we're in that community, have retail operations, so there's really good infrastructure in the community, has been for over 15 years, so we'll really leverage that. Two, there's incredible demand and need, and so we see that 10,000 adults in Sumter County and many more, if you stretch out to the neighboring counties, don't have diplomas. Most of them are over the age of 25, don't have options. We did a very quick, 10-day Facebook campaign. We had 194 adults in the area raise their hands, send in their contact information, and say we're interested in the school. That's a very strong indicator. And lastly, we still see the same kinds of persistent academic challenges that really produce the kinds of conditions where you've got students leaving school early and becoming young adults, and then older adults who don't have diplomas. So 1 in 5 students in Sumter County, college and career ready last year, 15% passage rate on algebra, EOC last year. These are kind of the same things that our students are coming in with many years later. And so those are kind of producing ongoing need for a school like Excel. Finally, key partners. You'll see in our application, Greg Thompson from the Liberty STEAM Board wrote an individual letter of support, as did the school. And we really feel like leveraging those relationships with school partners and educators in the area will really pay off for our students. Now I'm going to introduce my colleague, Amy Mims, from our board, to talk to you a little bit about Spartanburg.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm actually the founding executive director of Meeting Street Schools, so this is a very full circle moment for me. I'm so proud of my colleagues and many of the people that I helped to bring on board there. I'm so glad to be here this morning because I also have been driving down to Charleston for the last 7 years as a person who's been dreaming and hoping for this day for Excel and Goodwill Excel. So why Spartanburg? So first of all, for decades, the upstate Goodwill has served the community and has developed strong relationships in the work to certify and bring other people to working opportunities. Also, much like Sumter, we see a great need for our school in the Spartanburg area. Currently, over 30,000 adults live in that area who do not have a diploma credential. We've had great meetings with Spartanburg leaders, members of the Spartanburg academic movement. As we know, it's an over $100 million funded effort to bring education and economic mobility to the area. We believe that we are well aligned with the Spartanburg academic movement's work there. And finally, we know that we couldn't do the work we're doing in North Charleston without that support and partnership from Palmetto Goodwill. So I'd like to introduce my colleague and friend, Mr. Brian Itzkowitz, who is the CEO and president of Palmetto Goodwill Industries.
Good morning. So just want to talk a little bit about just the Goodwill and the Excel collaboration. So just, again, thank everybody for giving us the opportunity. This is truly a partnership. So it's a partnership with charter staff. It's a partnership with y'all on the board. So this is amazing stuff that you guys are allowing us to do, because it's not just working with the adult, it's multi-generational. Because when the kid sees mom and dad or the grandparent sitting at the kitchen table doing homework, it gets the kid engaged. So this is multi-generational impact that y'all are having. So thank you for that. So why Goodwill? Goodwill's mission, simply stated, is we help people change their lives. And we do that by providing equitable access to training, education, and employment. Our vision is every member of this community and the communities we serve deserves an opportunity to thrive. So when you think about that and how this all links together, if you look at the combined effort of Palmetto Goodwill and Goodwill of Midlands Upstate, 9,000 people, 9,000 folks in South Carolina found employment through Goodwill. Over 20,000 people of our combined effort received training through Goodwill. So this is just a natural growth of Goodwill and our mission of helping people change their lives. Again, going back, there was a question about the marketing piece. So as you see, the branding, the Smiling G is there. And we, again, telling that story, that mission of helping people change their lives through training, education, and employment, I think just again, just strengthens that. And as we talk about the Excel model, I've got my friend Kalila Palmer here, who is going to talk about that. She came from Indianapolis. The GEI, Goodwill Education Initiatives, have been around for over 10 years, impacting people's lives across the country. So want to have Kalila talk about that partnership and just how the network itself is growing and changing people's lives across the U.S. Thank you.
So the Excel Center is a proven model. There are 41 Excel Centers in 9 different states and D.C. We have Excel Centers in Memphis, Louisville, Baltimore, 2 in D.C., Charleston, 2 in Arkansas, 6 in Texas, 20 in Indiana, 6 in Missouri, and 1 in Phoenix. We're currently pursuing in Colorado, New Mexico, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Virginia, and New York. Palmetto Goodwill is well positioned to help our network continue to expand the Excel Center model. Since opening in August, they have met their enrollment goal. They have strong board and community support. They are already positioning their graduates to have family-sustaining income by providing rigorous, high-quality, in-demand certifications. We are extremely proud of the work that Palmetto Goodwill have done and will do. The network overall has had 13,000 graduates, 8,000 certifications since 2010, 1,824 graduates last year, with 57 certification offerings. Some of the certification offerings are welding, certified clinical medical assisting, certified nursing assisting, pharmacy tech, NCCER construction, CDL, to name a few. The Laboratory of Economic Opportunity, LEO, out of Notre Dame, did a quasi-experimental study on our graduates and found that they earned 39% more than their peers 5 years after graduating. We see wage increases in different sectors. Grads are more likely to be employed in high-paying sectors like healthcare, construction, and manufacturing. And to address the question, as you can see in the logo, when we first started in 2010, I was one of those original members. We didn't have the logo with the Goodwill and Excel, and we knew that it was very important to show that we were part of Goodwill, and a lot of our students didn't even know we were part of Goodwill. But now with marrying the logos together and Goodwill's at the stores, we'll talk about the Excel Centers. They'll have them on the announcements, they'll have them on the boards, they'll have handouts for the Excel Center. So we work very closely together to show that we are a partner, the Excel Center and Goodwill. And I'll turn it over.
Thank you. May we ask a question if anybody
We have
might?
a question, sorry.
Anybody like to ask a question? I wanted to ask you a question. In
Yes.
Indiana, which I know it's very cold, what is the funding mechanism like compared to what you see in South Carolina?
Okay, so we have governors, we have funding by this legislative cycle. So there's a line item in the state budget. So every few years we go back before the General Assembly and we advocate and we lobby for our line item to either be increased or just continued. So we do that every couple years, and we have been doing that since probably 2012. We started out in K through 12 funding, but they saw that we were getting too big, and then they put us more in Department of Workforce Development funding out of the legislative budget.
Okay, thank you. Was somebody else getting ready to speak?
Oh,
yeah.
I think she likes it up here, so. Hi, everybody, good to see you. My name is Michael Sabu. I'm actually the co-founding chair, so I'm in my 8th year trying to make sure that we're impacting South Carolina. I have the dubious honor to introduce you to the lady on our screen. Her name is Yolanda Patrick. So Yolanda came to us. She is now our first graduate. So Yolanda's story is that she came to us hoping to get her high school diploma. She actually, while she was with us, also got her pharmacy tech certification. You'll be happy to know that she received a 99 on her final, which makes it easy to brag about her. I understood from Dr. Ruth that now she has an idea and has applied to attend the College of Charleston in the early childhood program, where she has dreams for becoming a teacher and perhaps coming back one day and working with us at the Excel Center. So we love that story, and we thought it was just fitting for us to kind of wrap up our day to show you the why. This is why. This is why we do what we do. So I think you've also heard from our team all the reasons, why we think we're ready to expand into Spartanburg and to Sumter. But I have the whole board here with us, and we'll be happy to entertain any questions that you might have with the details. So thank you very much for allowing us to come.
Should we ask these questions now? Any questions right now? Okay. Anybody have a question? Let me ask you this question. Since the funding is past, the age is aged out, do you on the ground also consider meeting with members of the General Assembly, like you're talking, like you did in Indiana? Does the team here at all,
Okay. Yeah, so yes, the answer is we had tremendous community support when we started with this. All of our legislators, I think we had 60 letters of support, and I think probably almost every Charleston delegation supported. And the fact, I have to say, Chairwoman, Trident Tech in Charleston. Trident Tech blessed it. Most all of our legislative people got behind that because it fits in perfectly with our technical colleges.
And Mary Thornley is
Yes.
what a person,
Thank you.
What a person, so.
Absolutely.
That's a good connect, yeah.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I don't have a question, I just have a statement. Being a Sumter resident, and having worked with Greg Thompson over the last few years as a contractor and also helping start our school, I thank you, because one of the things that hurt me as a resident was when we lost Santa Cruz Nutritional. And one of the primary reasons that we couldn't help them meet the needs of the employees, the hourly staff, and a lot of those folks they were looking for needed a high school diploma, and because we couldn't provide them with enough, we lost a $14 to $18 million company that had invested resources in our community. So thank you to help us solve a problem.
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yes. Okay, now we want to proceed?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I thought this was a video you were getting ready to show us. Beautiful picture.
Next time we'll bring a
I thought you
video.
was gonna
Yeah.
talk. Okay, thank you. Having heard all this, now we've got a motion on the
Got a
floor.
motion on the floor for Spartanburg.
Spartanburg, yes, yes. Do we have a second?
We've
We
got a
already
second,
did that.
so we're ready
Okay,
for a
ready to vote. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you. That motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Could you both
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. But if you got up, we were all going to get up.
We follow our leader.
Right, exactly.
Celebrate the first one, and then we'll come back and celebrate the second.
That's right, that's exactly right.
This is a little unusual since we're doing
Yeah. Okay.
Since we're breaking them up, we'll just do.
Right. Okay, so now do we?
One picture.
One picture. Do we want to, we're going to entertain a motion for Palmetto Excel, Sumter. Spartanburg, excuse me.
No, Sumter.
Sumter, yeah, it was,
we
Sumter.
flipped
It's a little
We did,
confusing.
yeah, okay,
I move that we accept the staff's recommendation, conditional approval.
thank you. Second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Any discussion? Excuse me, any discussion? Well, just a great job, everybody. It's a great thing, it's a great vision. It's realized very concretely and wonderfully. Okay, so all in favor of this motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, thank you.
Great.
And then the gentleman behind the chairwoman, if you could step up by Mr. Dillon. There you go. Yep, she's good.
Are you, sorry, are you or am I looking? Okay.
Yeah, I want to thank all of y'all for your grace towards me.
Doing great. Y'all got to control Cindy and me. See, we're so passionate that we,
Hey, he got up to
It's
do that
like-
to make me look better.
That's right, that's right.
That's right, you're helping me
Yeah.
out. I said,
I'm
do
not gonna let my
do
chair lady
something
stand.
wrong.
I'm
Do
not gonna let
something
you go
wrong.
down there by yourself.
Right, exactly. Okay. So now we come.
Well, we're
in
doing
a
good
minute.
on the agenda.
Yeah, I'm
Good
surprised
job.
how fast it's going. Yeah, this is beautiful. Yeah.
He started, right, to a family trip.
Okay, now we get to hear from someone who pulls no punches, tells us straight facts. Mr. Nick Michael.
I'll try not to bore you today. Good morning, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Neely. Today I'm going to present the January 2024 Finance Report. Looking at page 1, at the end of January, we expect 41.67% of general fund approved budget to remain. We are currently at 41.4%. My report will show the district is bringing in more revenue than forecasted, specifically interest revenue from our investments. If we turn over to page 2, this is the district-wide income statement, which includes general fund, state aid to classrooms revenue transferred to our schools. State aid to classrooms is the majority of state revenue our schools receive under the new funding formula that was put into place last year. Through January 31st, the district received over $100 million in revenue with total expenditures of over $98.6 million, which equals a net income of over $1.4 million. Of the revenue received, over $96.2 million was sent to our schools under the new funding formula and for any who participate in the South Carolina retirement system. Our focus continues to advocate for additional state funding since our schools do not get local support. I will provide additional information at the end of my report about the breakdown of these general fund revenues. Turning to page 3, this report is the income statement for the district office only, which includes only general fund revenue recorded for our 2% authorizing fee, donations, interest income, and any other local sources. For the month of January, the district recorded over $366,000 in revenue, over $343,000 in expenditures, for a net income of over $23,000. Year to date, the district has recorded over $2.4 million in revenue, over $2.3 million in expenditures, for a net income of $51,581 for the year. This increases our estimated fund balance from $2,049,199 to $2,100,780, mainly due to the interest income received, which is over $30,000 in January and $98,000 year to date. As a result, we are able to invest the district funds raise more interest, which will provide additional support at no cost to our schools. In the February report, our fund balance continues to grow because funding was updated with our 45-day membership and additional interest income. Turning over to page 4, this report breaks out the district's budget and expenditures by individual departments. Leadership has a budget of over $1.8 million, expenditures of over $1 million, with 40% remaining. Sponsor performance has a budget of over $700,000, expenditures of over $353,000, with 50% remaining. And support and implementation has a budget of over $899,000, expenditures of over $476,000, with 47% remaining. Lastly, financial services and operations has a budget of over $650,000, expenditures of over $468,000, with 28% remaining. I will be presenting a budget amendment as we approach the end of the fiscal year so we can align with actual expenditures and revenues. So these percentages will balance out. All right, turning over to page 5. This final report is generated monthly by the State Department of Education, and it includes all of our state funding calculated for the district. I always like to point out the 2 line items that are highlighted, which is our state aided classrooms. We have the general fund portion of $169 million and the EIA portion of $34 million. So our total allocation of $203.8 million. I'm sorry, 209. No, I'm sorry, 203.8. And if you take that and divide that by the total allocation of state funding that we received of $209 million, that equates to 97.2% of our budget is coming from that new funding formula. This concludes my January financial report, and I respectfully request a motion to approve.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we accept the financial information as presented.
Second, Madam Chair.
Are there any questions?
I have a comment.
Yes.
I just wanted to publicly thank Nick for the way that he's managed the resources of the taxpayers. The fact that we've earned $98,000 in interest through the investments through the state of South Carolina, that's a huge benefit so that the staff can have the resources to provide more support to our schools and our kids. That's the way we should be using taxpayer dollars. And the fact that the fund balance is where it is, this is the greatest financial position this district has ever been in. So thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other?
That's my financial report.
Okay.
And now we need to vote.
Yes.
Now we
Okay,
need to vote.
yes. Okay. Now we're going to take a motion.
No, we have a motion and a
Oh,
second.
no,
We
we've
just
already
need to
done,
vote.
oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
Okay. Moving on to the auditing services. For fiscal years 24, 25, and 26. The district advertised an auditing RFP, an auditing services RFP on the South Carolina Business Opportunities website, January 23rd through February 27th. We received 2 bids for consideration. The district's leadership team reviewed the proposals, identifying key components such as capacity, experience, and pricing. The lowest bid is from our previous audit firm, Malden & Jenkins. The financial services team has built a strong relationship with this firm over the past 3 years. Staff seeks a motion to approve the Malden & Jenkins auditing services proposal for fiscal years 24, 25, and 26.
Thank you. Do we hear a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Yeah, I just wanted to ask this question. You have been very pleased with what's happened in the last several years. I mean, they really helped your team, and this firm has really helped to bring us to a place where we hardly have any
Absolutely.
It's
And
a
they've
great-
even lowered,
stellar.
they've even lowered their fee for the next 3 years.
Yes.
From what we paid the prior 3 years.
Yes, that's just that's great. Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, yes, right here. Okay. We need a motion, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session at this time for the purpose of the superintendent's annual performance evaluation.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Everybody go have fun, we'll be back.
And we're providing them lunch.
go through that yeah, door lunch.
And down to the executive.
Yeah, y'all have.
We get to talk about you?
Right, okay. Am I ready?
Yeah.
Calling back into session the March 14th meeting of the State Charter School Board. We have just returned from executive session. The board, and at that time, made no votes, just discussion. We met in executive session for the purpose of evaluating the superintendent's annual performance report. And we are all smiling. So anyway, we're very glad for that. We need a motion to approve the superintendent's performance evaluation from the board. Do I hear a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please
Aye.
indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. There were no questions, okay. Now we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Payne, wait, let me just relay this. I neglected to do this. We just wanted to say that it was a delight to review this report with our superintendent, and we are generally always, we are just amazed at the talent that he has, that he came back to South Carolina for this very purpose, I believe, and the love he has for his staff, for you all, the admiration he has for what each of you do. Your competency is just, look at how small a group you are, and look at the size ship you're running. It's a very neat thing, and you have the heart of that kind of leadership, and I just think it's an amazing synergism of what you and this team has done. So thank you for putting up with him, and we're delighted to put up with him.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I appreciate the support of you and the entire board, and your confidence in me and the entire district team. It is a team. It's not about me or any one person here. It's about all of us being really focused and intentional about a mission, vision, and values, and a motto of putting kids first. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to continue to serve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, trustees, I have just a few updates from my division for this month. Obviously, with authorization, of course, you know very well all of the work that we've been undertaking with reviewing applications. In addition to that, we have two non-material changes to apprise you of. First and foremost is Lakes and Bridges Charter School. As you know, Lakes and Bridges is our charter school for children with learning struggles, learning disabilities, including dyslexia up in Greenville. They changed their dismissal time. It did not affect instructional minutes, therefore it was considered a non-material change. Secondly, Liberty STEAM changed its English language arts curriculum. It went from HMH, which is a state-approved curriculum, to Houghton Mifflin, which is also a state-approved ELA curriculum. Since those are both state-approved curricula for English language arts, that also is a non-material change. I hope you have received your March School Board's newsletter. We have been distributing those to our schools board members, and have heard from quite a few of our schools board members how impactful and helpful those newsletters are, and in fact have been engaging with more and more board members as they review the recommendations and the information that we share through those board newsletters. In terms of data and accountability, we completed our CRDC report. This is the civil rights data collection that the federal government requires. They don't require it every year, so it's been 2 years ago. Very pleased at our work in that. You have to be 75% error-free. Oftentimes districts don't get much beyond that, but we are standing at 97% error-free. So I just say kudos to our team for doing that, because it goes back a number of years and includes schools that are no longer within our portfolio. We are working with our schools. The school climate survey, which is a component of the state report card, is open now, and parents, teachers, and students are completing those, and so we're continuing to provide guidance to our schools there. We're gearing up for the summer survey, which is a survey that's distributed where the State Department captures a lot of information that they don't otherwise capture, as well as getting ready to start working on our graduation rate files and making sure that's ready and complete for the State Department this summer. We are in phase 2 of the AFO Index. As you recall, back in February, you approved our new accountability system. And so phase 2 includes developing a dashboard, working on data collection protocol, and then working with our schools on their goals to ensure that every school has SMART goals related to academic excellence and other things we'll be measuring in the AFO Index. And Madam Chair, that concludes my update for March.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we will, excuse me, move on to, oh wait, did any board members have any questions? No, okay. Now we'll go to Emily Baker, Deputy Superintendent Support and Implementation, on support and implementation update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. Today I have 2 quick updates under the same umbrella. This is simply for your information to let you know that there's some buzz and some happening in case you receive questions, and this is also something we'll keep you up to date on moving forward into the fall. As you see from this chart here, there's currently 6 content areas across K-12 education, and those platforms are changing in the next school year. One of those, Elevation, our multilingual learner platform, did actually change this year, and we have 5 additional platforms changing next year. It's a heavy lift to change one platform, as we learned with Elevation this year, so it's going to be a really heavy lift next year, adding 5 new additional platforms for our schools. So we, as a district team, are collaborating across programs, John's team and our accountability team, our S&I team, CANT, we're involving everyone we can to ensure that we are up to date and have the best knowledge that we have available to us today to ensure that our schools then have the capacity to be sustainable moving forward. So we have identified ahead of time, we know this is a big lift for our schools, so we're going to do everything we can throughout the rest of this spring and into the summer to make sure that they're set for success moving forward into next year. The next thing is showing you a data flow where all of those platforms I just showed you on the chart, where that data is coming from and where it's flowing to. So if you think about an umbrella, Ed Analytics that John actually mentioned to you earlier is an umbrella. All of these platforms fall under that Ed Analytics umbrella, okay? You're familiar with PowerSchool. Okay, PowerSchool is staying, PowerSchool will remain. Our assessment data and that PowerSchool data will now feed into Starting Blocks. So all data collection will now happen starting this fall in Starting Blocks. That data will then flow into Stadium. That is where all of that data will then be warehoused. Student profiles will then be made from the data that's in Stadium, and that will go into a platform called Rally that is teacher-facing, so teachers will have access to data at their fingertips based on the students that they have in front of them each school year or each semester. And then finally, there's a platform called Podium. Podium is a platform for data visualizations. This is more so for district level or school level administrators, where all of the data that we have in front of us, it presents to you in graphs and visualizations that allow us for interpretation. We also know that it's one of those garbage in, garbage out things. So we know that the data that we have in PowerSchool really needs to be accurate and up to date so that all of these systems are then fed properly. So it's a quick update, just letting you know we're on this. It's a big deal to us. We're making sure that our schools are prepared for next fall.
Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Chair, question. Yes, as far as the training for school administrators, what's the plan for that?
Yeah, so there's different parts and pieces that have already begun, like the special education platform. The state has been training on that pretty much all school year. And then as soon as we have access to information and or we are trained, we will continue to train. So it's, we're anticipating that's kind of a train the trainer model where schools will have certain people that are trained and they'll be able to take that information back to their schools.
Okay. And secondly, the data visualizations, that is not applicable just because we just didn't have it?
So the data visualization, that bottom piece, yeah, that bottom piece falls under the Ed Analytics umbrella, but it's not relevant at the time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good observation. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Emily. Now, Emily Paul. Same name spelled differently.
The Emilys.
Before I give my strategic plan update, I would like to ask John to come back up and introduce one of our new team members.
Yes, I regrettably forgot to add one additional item. So 3 weeks ago, we welcomed Sarah Boria. Sarah, if you'll stand up. Sarah is our new accountability coordinator. Sarah joins us from the South Carolina Department of Education, where I hired her about 5 years ago when South Carolina received the Emergency Assistance for Non-Public Schools, or EANS, which was a component of the COVID educational emergency money. Sarah's background prior to that was working over 10 years for Blue Cross Blue Shield's processing claims, and she made extremely great connections with our private schools, and so we're excited to have her join the team, and she's already jumped in with both feet. So we just wanted to introduce you to Sarah Boria.
Thank you for coming.
All right, so I haven't seen you in a couple board meetings. I have been at the SEAL Platinum training, so that is put on by SCASA. That's the Center for Executive Educational Leadership. I finished that, and so I will be here at all the rest of the meetings. So I'm excited to be back up here and bringing you an update on our strategic plan. Marlene, oh, I have the clicker, never mind. So we are making great progress on finishing our current strategic plan by June 30th, and so we have started work on creating our new strategic plan. So on our current plan, we are wrapping up the best practices library project, so pulling together across different teams best practices that will serve our schools as kind of a one-place stop to find great practices in the field. We are also doing staff policy and procedure reviews. Our direction team is taking that on and making sure that we don't have any gaps, making sure that everything is up to date and reflects our current processes. And then finally, we're streamlining and optimizing financial processes. So Nick's team is working on going through all of their stuff, making sure everything is up to date and current. And as far as our new strategic plan, we have a strategic planning committee that includes staff, a board member, a school member, and obviously the superintendent. And we have met a few times talking about the process. We just got through collecting all the stakeholder feedback, so thank you to all of you who were able to have an interview with Stan and give your feedback. We also heard from 52 external stakeholders. Those were school board members and school administrators. That was a great response. I believe the prior plan, we only had like 20, so I was really happy with that 52. And then we had 100% staff response on our staff survey, so thank you all for filling that out. So from there, Stan created a SWOT analysis, so our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and threats. We just got a first glance at that yesterday and are going to be doing some adjustments to that and sending that out to the group. I wanted to let you know that we did have a strategic plan retreat planned for next week where we were going to share that SWOT and start to draft the plan. Stan is having a family emergency, and so we have rescheduled that. Well, we will be rescheduling that, but it is canceled for next week. We'll probably get together in April or May and have a full day together, staff and board, to really set our future focus for the next 5 years. It looks like the same 4 focus areas: organizational development, internal and external communications, operational excellence, and advocacy will still be our focus areas because those have served us really well. We're just ready to take them to the next step for the next 5 years. Any questions for me?
Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Hearing none, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John, Emily, and Emily. Appreciate the reports. Got some things here that we want to go over. All right. So we're going to talk through pictures again, because that's how I learned to read, was pictures. We had a wonderful celebration a few weeks ago at the Meyer Center. They celebrated their 70th anniversary. The Meyer Center was created in 1954 by Dr. Meyer, and that's long before charter schools came around. But it was during a period where there was a lot of conversation about what school choice would be, and we never would have imagined that, many years later, 70 years later, we would have a charter school like the Meyer Center that has opened its doors to children with disabilities in the upstate. But it was wonderful celebrating that. And then on the right, is a picture with us and Representative Jason Elliott, and that was at the Greenville Tech Charter High School 25th anniversary charter champion event where Representative Elliott was honored as their charter champion. Fred Crawford was also honored. Fred was a previous school leader with 3 different charter schools. We continue to do our school visits. If you've visited a school with me, raise your hand. Either ride with me or met us there. Raise your hand. So we continue to have school visits. Here's a picture of Jonathan with us at Legacy a few weeks ago. We were over at High Point Academy. We spoke in Myrtle Beach at the President's Council for the South Carolina Technical College System. Tim Hardy set that meeting up, and so you can see Dr. Turner and me speaking. We presented and on Workforce Centers of Excellence and had a great conversation with the presidents of the 16 technical colleges. We've met with the Urban League now a few times, and that's them down on the bottom left. The Urban League has come to us. They are interested, the Urban League of the Upstate, they have come to us wanting to start a charter school in the Upstate that is focused on the film industry and getting underserved children into education and learning that could lead to careers in the film industry. And so we're going to be working with them and folks from Hollywood and New York to create the first ever film charter school in the United States. And it will be in partnership with the Urban League. We're very excited about that. And there's a lot of leaders in the Upstate who are very supportive of this.
All G-rated.
All G-rated, that's
Okay,
right,
I
that's right.
appreciate it.
And as you know, like any big industry like that, there's all types of jobs. It's not just producing films, it's everything that goes on in the background. So it's an entire industry. But as South Carolina continues to host more movie production, one of the concerns has been we don't have the workforce to provide the needs and support those efforts. We continue to partner with Coastal Carolina University. There's some of our friends from Coastal Carolina. We're in the final stages of having an MOU with them where we will partner with Coastal Carolina on a lot of different ventures related to school choice, some education programs, and even the creation of the state's first PhD program for charter school leaders and administrators that will have a charter school focus. We can't build a bench of leaders if we don't begin to offer the education so that they can take classes that are related to what it's like to run a charter school or a charter school district, because it is somewhat unique. So we're excited about that. And then on the top right, you'll see our friends from Learn for Life, which we have a Learn for Life school down in North Charleston, and they were in town from Los Angeles to meet with us about future growth. Last week, we were over at York Prep. You'll see on the left. They had their Futures in Focus student conference, and Dr. Mills and I spoke and presented 2 sessions on jobs in the military. Brian Myrup, the school leader, had asked if Perry and I would come up and talk about the different careers in the military. And like the film industry, every job that you can imagine, the military has. As I told the kids, think about the city of Rock Hill and all the jobs, both private and public, that are in that community. Well, the military has all those jobs too. But it culminated with a wonderful speaker at the luncheon. But they really treated the students like adults. It was like an adult-led conference. And it was wonderful seeing the students go to the different sessions and learn about the careers that they are interested in. And now York Prep has come to us and have asked, hey, what can we do to become a workforce center of excellence? Can we update our charter and amend it so that we can also participate and let this be a part of our program with York Technical College? See, that's the other part of this, is our current schools can also work with us to become a workforce center of excellence. It expands the footprint and opens the doors for more people. And then you'll see, we mentioned earlier, we were at the Greenville Tech Charter High School proclamation resolution ceremony at the South Carolina Senate. And it was wonderful having students and board members from Greenville Tech there to be recognized by the South Carolina Senate. And afterwards, they got to go down to the governor's office and get a photo in the governor's office, and that was very special. And then York Prep, as I mentioned, came here the other day as a follow-up to last week's conference and talked with us about the opportunity there is to partner with us. As usual, and I'm not going to go through the list because it's been a long meeting, but the radio show continues to thrive every Tuesday at 5:30 on 100.7 The Point. We will continue to push that out. We're on with Kevin Cohen. And every week we have a special guest, a school leader, a parent, people that are in the school choice movement to talk about school choice charters and what it means to work and live in a charter school environment. So I invite you to tune in if you can. You can do it on your phone. Just download the 100.7 The Point app, and you can listen wherever you are. We also are still doing the Kids First podcast. So we're excited about continuing that. We're not doing them as frequently as we were. We're trying to kind of space those out a little bit and kind of limit that, but make the podcast a little more special. I think the last thing I'll say is related to the Workforce Centers of Excellence. And yesterday I was walking the halls of the State House because we do have our Senate hearing next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And I was stopped in the hallway there at the Gressett building, and I had someone stop me, and they said, well, tell me a little bit about these Workforce Centers of Excellence, especially these adult schools that you're advocating for. I saw your testimony. And I was explaining the concept and the alternative approach that we're taking to offering to adults in our state, the 500,000 who do not have a high school diploma. And this person had a little bit of a different view about the issue. And I said, look, we're charged in the Charter Act to be that alternative. And it's not just in the traditional K through 12 space. And just like any market, the economics tells us that, it's an allocation of resources. And, I think we're at a point in our state where we look at the resources, our people. And we want to ensure that we're making the right investment in our people so they can have every opportunity to live and pursue their version of the American dream. And we all believe here that to do that, the best opportunity is by giving them a great education. Now, preferably, that would be when they're growing up through K through 12. But it doesn't always work out that way for everybody, as we know from our friends at the Palmetto Excel Center and our own Katrina Simmons and her story. Life happens, and it's happened to all of us. But for some people, it's just a lot harder. And so when we think about our people as our resources and we think about the economics behind it and the investment that this board is making today by saying yes to those 2 new schools and then that Meeting Street school, you're saying yes to our people and expanding their opportunities regardless of their age. And as I said before, we're all about giving people second, third, fourth, and fifth chances. I believe in redemption. And because of that, I believe that we are standing on the right side of history when it comes to these Workforce Centers of Excellence. We're going to have our naysayers. People are threatened when you show up at the State House and you're asking for big money to make an investment in something like this. I get that. I've spent 30 years over there asking for money and resources. And I know it's limited. But I do believe if there was ever a time for the state to make an investment in its people, now is the time. And now is the time to make the resource at a very small level where we can prove through data and through performance that we're doing the right thing. And that's why we're starting small. We started at Trident Tech. We're going to open the new schools in Sumter and over in Spartanburg. And I think over time, we'll start to win over more people who have doubts. But I just want you to know that what we're doing, it is innovative. It is stepping out of the comfort box. And it can be threatening to other people that have been in this space for a long time. And I recognize that. And we're not going to be critical of what they're doing, because in a choice world, there should be choices. A choice for their model and a choice for our model. It just so happens that our model is a kids first and adults model too. So thank you for your support. I appreciate what you did today. These decisions, as you've already learned, through Palmetto Excel, the 2,000 applicants that want to get in that school. This is the demand. Let's meet the demand. Let's invest in our resources, our people, and let's continue to put all people first. Thank you very much.
Well said, well said. Are there any questions for Chris at this time? Any thoughts?
I do have a question as relates to the PhD program at Coastal Carolina.
You ready to apply?
Yes, when will that start?
I think next year. Emily Baker, y'all hand Emily the mic, please.
Coastal is very eager to get this program started, so the intent is they're asking for a cohort of at least 5, which we think we could fill really quickly, that could potentially start this fall.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is very exciting. I mean, Clemson is working with us on the CLIC program, and Emily's been leading that with Dr. Pugh, and we have 15 participants in that program. We'd love to do something like this with Carolina, but Coastal really jumped on it. You know, I mean, we talk about the aircraft carrier. I always use the analogy of an aircraft carrier. Our big universities sometimes have a hard time turning in a cul-de-sac, but Coastal Carolina, they're like a little frigate, and they can just spin around and go the other way. And but we want to work with all our universities. But if you're ready to sign up, Mr. Davis, we're ready to put your jersey back on.
All right, okay.
You can wear. Hey, you can wear teal. Hey, you can wear teal.
All right.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Okay, now, so I think, any further questions for Superintendent? Okay. Then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. One more thing. What is it? Excuse me. Oh, this.
Yes, we have one more item for
Oh,
you.
yes, okay. I'm looking at, I didn't see it right here. So I apologize for that. Okay.
No problem.
That was not on my sheet.
All right, our last agenda item for today, on behalf of Superintendent Neely, it is with great honor that we present Rihanna Smith, our State Programs Coordinator, with the Core Value Award for her exceptional dedication and contributions, perfectly embodying our core values of focus, integrity, equity, excellence, and relationships. Through her recent leadership in the district-wide teacher recruitment fair, Rihanna has shown unwavering commitment to our students' health, welfare, and academic growth, aligning with our focus. Her integrity and advocacy for equal opportunities reflects our values, ensuring all students have the resources to thrive. Rihanna's pursuit of excellence in teacher recruitment, instructional coach support, and enrollment and demographic data tracking has set a high standard and has contributed significantly to our school's success. Moreover, her ability to foster positive relationships has reinforced our mission to ensure a high-quality public education for every student in the district. Congratulations to Rihanna Smith for this well-deserved honor, embodying our values through her impactful work and dedication to our students' future. And I'm going to read you what this says. I proudly nominate Rihanna Smith to receive the Core Value Award as a recognition of their mindfulness in planning and inclusion of other staff members in the planning. Rihanna demonstrates initiative in her day-to-day work as well as long-term planning. She also exemplifies our Kids First mission by the work she does to benefit teachers, students, and our school, and fully supports our district's mission. Congratulations.
Congratulations. It's well earned. It's been an honor being able to get to know you and watch you perform. And despite the fact that you were a Syracuse Orangeman, that other orange, it's been great watching you really grow here. And you're such a great professional, and your character and integrity mean so much to all of us. And we know that we can always depend on you to do the job in a manner that really reflects all the values that this district stands for. So once again, congratulations.
Now, okay. With apologies to you, I apologize for that. I did not even see that. I'll now ask for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Indicate by standing up. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you all.
Steve, everybody.